It's time to start your second session of week 2. You should be starting to see a few changes by now. The body should be feeling it a little bit. So let's get started. Okay guys, so first up for every session, we're going to have our primers. Now our primers are exercises that are getting us ready, getting our bodies into gear and organized to take on a really good session. With this, you're able to do it with both quads on there. You can also do a single quad, just depending on what you're wanting to do. Aims for this one, just 10 up and down. All right, here we go for our glutes. So as you can see, the body position is that we're focusing on our right glute right now. If you change the legs, you'll focus on the left, aiming just to go through the muscles. You should feel that it's a little bit tight and tender in areas, but we're just aiming to get those muscles primed, ready to go for today's session. Okay, time for the hamstrings. So with these ones, wanting to roll forward and backwards through both hamstrings, you can do one versus the other. So by lifting up one leg, you can be focusing on that right one, or you can lift up the left leg, focus on the left, or lift up the right leg, focus on the left. For these ones, you can change the position so you're focusing more on the inside of the hammies or the outside of the hammies. All right, and calves. So with this one, you can also do the double calves. Sometimes these can get quite tender if you're doing a lot of running, but otherwise, if you can, try and do a single calf. So you're just going to lift one up and going up and down through that muscle, making sure that you're getting through the entire muscle block there. Get the balance ready, get the weights ready, and it's time for that side lying arm bar. All right guys, so for this one, it's a priming, well, another type of a priming exercise, but we're trying to get those muscles all working together. So for this one, it's a bit of balance. You might feel like you are a little bit unbalanced when you get onto your side. Now, if you don't have a weight, just use a drink bottle, that is fine. The setup that we've got here, straight leg out, opposite arm is straight out above as well. The arm that has the weight in it is straight up towards the ceiling, and we have the other knee bent. Now what you're going to do is you're pushing up through the weight, rolling yourself onto the side and straightening out this leg. Now the aim in this position is that the weight is above your shoulder, your body is in a straight line. You're then going to bend your knee and roll yourself back onto your back, okay? Now we're going to go through that again. Now when you go onto your side, you want to try and hold that for about 5 seconds. So coming over onto your side, straighten out that leg and holding for about 5 seconds here. Then you're going to bend and come back. Okay, now there are a couple of other versions of this one for you. So if you're finding that quite difficult, what you'll do is instead of straightening out your leg, you're going to leave that knee bent. So you're going to push up through the weight again, come over onto your side, and you're just going to hold that position there. All right, your back leg is not actually touching, so it's resting here, but you've got that nice inline position through your body, and then you're going to roll back onto your back. Okay, for a slightly harder version, guys, what we're going to do is we're still going to start in the same position, rolling over onto our side, getting that nice position, leg goes out nice and straight, but it's up. So you're wanting to keep that body position nice and in line, no rolling forwards or backwards. When you're coming back, you're going to bend your knee first and then roll back onto your back, controlling the movement as you go. Guys, so DNS Start, one of my favorite all-time exercises that's super challenging, but it gives you the results. So with this, it's starting in a similar side plank position, but this time we don't need the hips to be right in line with the knees. It actually starts slightly back. Now with this, I'm going to get you to reach your top arm as far forward as you can and sit your bottom back as far as you can. So that's your starting position, reaching out from either side, imagining you're stretching that band. Then you're going to bring this bow and arrow up, the butt goes forward. We make sure those ribs aren't the ones that are going forward. And then we're going to go back into that starting position, rotating through the upper body, bringing that bottom back and coming back up. Now what a lot of people will want to do is they'll really want to reach too far up above their body, and they really want to start flaring out through those ribs. We want to try and keep those ribs nice and secure. So bringing yourself back, and we're going to sit that bottom back as far as we can, and then coming back up. All right, so as you come back up, we are lifting through this top leg to get it up in line with our body, and then coming back and through. So it's time to get that bridging out. Make sure you've got your lounge, your chair, or your bench ready to go, because it's time to get those hamstrings and those glutes into gear. Okay guys, so this is a little bit of a variation of the bridge. Now we've got a box here. You can use a chair, a coffee table, a lounge, whatever you have at home to be able to do it. But today we're going to be using this. Now with this, we are aiming for single leg exercises. Main reason is that's what we do when we run. So with this, we're going to start with a single leg bridge. One leg's up in tabletop, and we're going to be lifting up towards the sky. Now again, we've got those arms down, but if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can pop your arms across your chest so that they're not helping you. Now main thing with these hips is we want to make sure those hips are even as we're lifting, so one's not dropping versus the other, making sure they're nice and controlled, and that our hip, knee and foot are all in a straight line as we're doing the exercise. Now if this is a little bit challenging for you, what we can do is pop this foot down and just use it for a bit of balance. So it's just the tippy toe there that's helping you to give you a bit of balance and a bit of support as you're lifting up to be able to do the exercise. The other option that you do have as well is to actually bring yourself a bit further down, keep yourself in that single leg position and lifting up. For some people you might find this a little bit harder. It's a little bit more hamstring dominant, but it takes away a little bit of that calf work that you might have being out a little bit further. Alright, for you guys that might start to feel your back a little bit through this exercise, I do have a trick for you. So using a weight, popping it in the hand of the leg that's up, you're just going to hold it up, and what this does is it helps to get a little bit more of that activation through the core muscles so that you're not actually engaging your back to do it. It's forcing you to use your leg a little bit more. So for some people you might have to use it for all of it. For others they might just use it for a couple of the exercises as they start to fatigue. So it's time for those single leg calf raises. You know how important these are, so make sure that you're doing them right. Alright guys, so when we're looking at the calf raise, like the biggest thing that people want to do is bend their knee as they go into the calf raise, or really try and take their weight forward to help them up. But what we're trying to do is make sure that our weight stays on top of our ankle and we're going up as high as we can and coming back down. So coming up. The other thing that you want to do is try and keep the weight really even between all of your toes on your feet, not letting your foot flick out to the side. Okay, coming up and slowly back down and go again. Okay. Good. So the other option is to be able to use the other foot to give you a little bit of assistance. So what that'll do is just help you get all the way up onto your toe and back down. So it's just helping with that balance and coming back down. So you want to try and aim for that weight to go over your big toe as you're going up and slowly coming back down. Drills is all about learning how to use your body again. So the more time that you can spend on it, the better. Now get those bodies into gear, get that position of your hips, that position of your body, make sure that you're concentrating and you'll really see those changes. So drill for today is our forward lean drill. So aiming for that really good body position, making sure that our ankles, our hips and our shoulders are in a nice position, keeping that plank position throughout. Now remember, we want to do those first couple of priming exercises, coming back, making sure that we keep that nice position. Once you feel like you've got that down pat, that's when you want to start to bring in those arms. So when you get to that forward position, bringing in those arms, about 15 to 20 seconds, then you pull yourself back. Holding there, get those those arms in and pull yourself back. If at any point in that position you feel like you're losing your control, your shoulders are going forward, or your bottom sticks back, then I want you to pull yourself out of it, reset, go again. So that's week 2 done now, guys. Well done. We're really targeting those muscles we need for running. It's time to really keep that consistency going. Sometimes around that week 2, week 3, you know, you might get a little bit complacent, but really let's crack it into next week and keep this going.